Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mondays with Moss.
Hello.
This is Judy, and I'm Moss. We're both clinical psychologists, and we do therapy with teenagers and adults and couples. And this series is really about providing a number of topics that we think are really important that people grapple with, have trouble with, kind of relationship knots and tangles that get them in trouble, take things personally, overreact, catastrophize, and I think we've covered about 5 of them together
So far.
over the last month or two. So,
Yeah, about.
so just review them, okay?
Okay.
I think we did comparing. Remember
Yes.
what comparing is?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to say more
Do
about
you?
that? Comparing is.
Obviously, I remember better than you do. That's
Oh.
comparing.
I love it when Judy has to be right. And a little judging there too. don't
It's a
you think?
little judging.
Okay. So comparing
I'm a
is.
little judging.
Comparing is.
Comparing is exactly what it says. It's like comparing my feelings or my experience with yours, and mine is better
Yeah.
or righter.
Right, right. Oh, I remember a funny story about comparing. When I was about 5 or 6,
Yeah.
my brother was 4 years older, maybe about 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
We were living in Brooklyn, and my mom would constantly say to my brother, almost every day at breakfast, "Why can't you be more like your cousin Marvin? Marvin washes himself, he brushes his teeth, he makes his bed, he gets good grades, he doesn't have greasy hair." And he said it over and over again. My brother never, ever reacted. You would think he was just, that's how she feels, that's how she feels. One day, though,
Yeah.
after breakfast, my
Yeah.
brother says to me, "Brother," that's what he called me,
I know.
"let's take a walk."
Mm-hmm.
We took a walk up the street,
Yeah.
about half a block, went to where Marvin lives in an old brownstone.
Oh, Marvin lives up the block
in
from you.
the Williamsburg section.
Uh,
Knock on the door.
Uh-huh.
Guess who answers?
Marvin.
Marvin answers. My brother punches Marvin in the
Oh my
nose, and there's Marvin laying on the floor screaming, "Ah, ah, ah, ah." And we're walking back and look at my brother. He has the biggest smile on his face. He felt so satisfied. Anyway, the thing
Poor
was,
Marvin.
yeah, I know he was a schmuck.
Well.
Neither of us liked him. But the thing was, my mother she did a cardinal knot, a tangle. Why can't you be like?
Uh-huh.
She did comparison.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we did mind reading. So mind reading is where I think I know what you're thinking.
All right.
So I'm not asking you what you're thinking. I'm telling
Right.
you.
You're
so Judy,
assuming.
I know you are wanting to go to the ballet tonight.
Where'd you get that idea from?
Because you always want to go to the ballet.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're assuming
Oh.
that I want to do something because I've wanted to do it at other times,
Yeah, I think I am.
and you're not checking with me
No, I'm
because
not.
maybe I don't feel like going to the ballet tonight.
I see. So based
Maybe I
on
want to go to a hockey game.
based on past experience, I'm doing mind reading.
Exactly.
And,
Okay.
here's a good one. Judging. We did judging, didn't we?
I think we did do judging.
Yeah. So
Do you judge?
Oh.
Are you guilty of judging?
not you.
Me specifically?
Not you.
No?
I just adore you.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
So judging is simply what you do.
Well, you're making judgments about things.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
that you
yeah.
believe that I think or feel or that I've done, okay, but in some way you don't like.
Yeah.
Or
Like
you disagree with.
like you might say to me about that sweater I love, the one
Oh,
paint
that sweater.
stains.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say things like, "Are you going to wear that sweater again? I can't believe it." That's a judging, isn't it?
No, I think what I said yesterday was that sweater is awful.
Yeah, that's a judge. That's a judge. Dreaming is what?
Oh, dreaming is when you sort of, when somebody starts to talk to you, decide like there's nothing really important that they're saying to you, or they're not angry with you. There's not going to be a problem. So you're sort of off in your own
I
mind,
see.
thinking about what you have to do that day, or something you'd like to go by,
Okay.
or some experience you'd like to have, and you're not paying attention.
And I may never know you're dreaming.
That's true.
Because if you're a good dreamer,
That's true. You know, because I look like I'm listening
Yes,
to you, like
yes.
I'm looking into your eyes.
Yes,
I'm nodding every once in a while.
Right, but
so
your mind,
I'm good at pretending that I'm listening,
Yeah.
but I'm not actually
but your mind is
listening.
someplace else.
My mind is somewhere.
And here's your favorite, being right.
That's my favorite.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, those are the 5 topics we've covered in the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And today we got a great one. We got something called counter criticism. Counter criticism. Just think about that expression, counter criticism. So there's a criticism, but then there's a counter criticism. So do you remember a time many, many years ago when we were just youth?
We were just youth. Youth.
And we're driving someplace, and I think I came up with something, probably not with the soft startup. I probably said something, you know, Judy, I'm bothered by whatever it was. And almost immediately...
No, it probably went something like, Judy, you...
Oh, okay.
And then followed by whatever it
okay.
was that you
Yeah, I can see doing that.
wanted me to know I should...
Hard startup.
A hard startup,
Yeah.
right. Have we said anything about the startup?
Maybe
The difference
not.
between a hard and a soft startup might be good to say something about that.
Okay.
Especially because if you want to bring up something that you're uncomfortable with, or you don't like that your partner's doing, or you think is a little strange, which can feel like criticism, anything that can feel like criticism, if you do it with a soft startup, then the person isn't as likely to become defensive in some way because they feel like they're being attacked.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Like if you had said to me, Judy, there's something I'd like to talk to you about, or there's something I'm confused about that I'd like to ask you about. Is that okay? Like that's a soft startup.
Yeah.
All right. You're not putting it right in my face.
Right.
All right. You're not sounding angry and critical. You're sounding curious.
Okay.
Which is very different feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm not immediately on notice that I'm going to be criticized by something.
Yeah.
In which case, you know,
You're a little prepared.
I am. I'm
kind of giving you an
and I'm
alert.
a little bit more welcome to hearing what you might have
Probably,
to say.
if I do a soft startup, hey Judy, I want to run something by you. I got a concern about something. Do you have a minute or two? And a soft voice too.
Yeah.
It allows you to maybe have a soft response, not a harsh response.
It definitely makes it more likely.
As compared to a hard startup, which is like, hey Judy, how come you never, or once again, you didn't clean out the car?
Yes, always, because immediately I'm on alert here.
Yes.
When you start like that, it's like, oh my God, he's attacking me. I did something wrong, or he's angry.
Tone is harsh. The glance is harsh.
Yeah.
The volume is harsh, and the words sound harsh. So of course you're going to take it personally and and maybe go into a counter criticism. So counter criticism is a tit for tat. I might have a criticism, a comment, a complaint, an upset. I'm bothered by something. I want to share it with you because I want to feel better about whatever it is I'm bothered about.
Or you want to hand me your upset so you won't be upset anymore.
Oh, okay, right.
Sort of like dumping.
Okay, so would this be dumping? Okay, I'm gonna do a hard startup.
All right.
Okay. Judy, I've made the bed now 2.5, maybe 3 weeks in a row. I don't know what you do when you get up and scoot downstairs, but I've not been acknowledged and not been appreciated, and I make the bed.
Yeah, but you do make the bed a lot. I admit that.
You
but
do.
You don't make it the way it should be made.
What does that do?
You make it messily.
Well,
so it's like it's made, but it isn't really made.
Messily, is that a word?
It's messily. Sometimes I have to go back and like redo it. You know, fluff the pillows.
Is that a 14?
Put the little.
Is that a 14-year-old word? Messily.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting my message across.
Yeah. Oh.
So don't criticize my language.
So, what makes that a counter criticism? I had an upset. I think I had an upset. I wanted to, I just wanted to be acknowledged. But but I didn't present it in a way that invited a thank you. I really appreciated it. Instead, it triggered in you what?
Well, it was like you were comparing some record that you'd been keeping of how often you made the bed and how
Okay.
often I made the bed. I didn't even know you were keeping,
Right,
that
right.
statistic. But it came across to me like a criticism.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like I wasn't doing something right because I should be
Okay.
making the bed more often.
That's how it came across.
Right. And so my immediate reaction was, you're criticizing me,
Yes.
which feels like you're attacking me.
Exactly.
Right? You're telling me
Exactly.
I am doing something wrong.
Okay.
And like my reaction was to defend myself
Okay.
by attacking you back.
Okay.
Which is one way that we defend ourselves.
The counter-criticism.
Yeah.
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 So with my hard startup,
Mm-hmm.
you weren't able to really get to my underlying need or request for acknowledgement or appreciation.
Right, because I'm already on the defensive.
Because I brought it up in a way that I wasn't clear about what I wanted. I came across it in a critical way, and you thought I was criticizing you personally.
Because you weren't asking. It didn't
Yeah.
sound like you were asking me for something,
Okay.
like to be acknowledged or appreciated. It sounded to me like you were telling me you're doing
I
something wrong and I'm doing something right.
You're doing something wrong. You're bad. That
Yeah.
triggered off a defensive reaction.
Yeah,
So we can call it the alligator brain, the defensive brain.
right.
Woke up really fast. That's called fast track thinking. Fast track.
Right. It
thinking.
doesn't take any time
No.
at all. It's like immediate.
It's immediate. It's immediate. Okay, good. So let's do another example.
Oh, okay.
All right. So remember when I used to drive too close to another car? So we'd be going.
What do you mean? Remember?
I don't do that
You did it
anymore.
yesterday.
Oh, I thought I did.
I didn't say anything.
No, I thought you were really good.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
say anything, but yeah.
That was when we were off the expressway, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But there were a number of years ago, I remember this. We were driving down to Atlantic City area,
Uh-huh.
and I like to drive pretty fast in the left lane, and I typically will move over to the mid lane if a car's coming behind me. But in this case, the car in front of me was going like 60, 65, and I was really annoyed. So I got up pretty close, and you said something to me. Do you remember what it was?
No, what did I say?
I think you said, "You're driving too close.
Oh, did I
You're
say
driving too close." And I said, "What the fuck you talking about? I know exactly what I'm doing. Are you telling me I'm a bad driver?"
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are you telling me I'm a bad driver?
Yes, I am actually telling you you're not doing it correctly. Because the rule is,
Oh, the rule.
right, a car length behind for every 10 miles. That is the rule. I learned that rule when I was 16 and I learned to drive and I follow that rule.
Did you,
That is defensive driving.
did you learn
That's the correct way to
that? Did
drive.
you learn that in a religious school? You need to stand 10 feet apart from the person who you're dancing with. So,
No, but you need to stay a car length behind
oh,
for
you
every
need
10
to.
miles
And
of
it's a
speed.
sin. It's a sin if you don't.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Right.
Okay.
And my body
Yeah.
tells me when I'm in danger.
So therefore, you're right.
Like
and
when
I'm
I
wrong.
grab a hold of the door, that's a hint that you're driving too close.
Well, I noticed that.
Mhm.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you
Yeah.
take that personally.
Well, besides that, I'm worried for my life. Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's. I get scared.
You get scared.
I get scared.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So here's what's really crucial, folks. So Judy was scared. Okay. Now I have confidence in my driving. I've never slammed into anybody in front of me. I've slammed into some stationary objects like a brick wall, but
Right. Yeah.
I have confidence in my driving. But because I think you're saying I was driving too close for your comfort, too close for comfort.
Oh,
You were
yes.
feeling fearful.
I was.
So when you said to me that you're driving too close to that person, what I heard was bad, bad, bad. You're driving wrong, wrong, wrong. I didn't hear I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Can you help me out and slow down? So because
I can see that.
okay, because I heard it that you're criticizing me, so I couldn't hear the real need
Which
was
is
based upon your fear.
right.
All right, so let's say
Yeah.
we're doing this, and we're doing this. You're doing the soft startup, and I'm driving too close.
Okay.
Driving too close.
And this is a hard situation, Moss.
Yeah.
Because unlike some of the situations, like the bed making,
Yeah,
where I just felt like you were criticizing me,
yeah,
this situation was one where I really get scared.
I got it.
So I feel physically in danger.
I see.
It's not just an emotional
Yeah.
danger, but physically in danger. So I think it's harder to do a soft startup.
So when you're
In that
feeling
situation.
physically endangered or psychologically endangered, the fast track brain, the
Yeah.
alligator brain, moves real fast
Mm-hmm.
and it comes out with a fight or flight,
Exactly.
a criticism.
Right.
Okay.
So let's see. I mean, a soft startup would be if I could keep my voice under control, and just maybe say to you,
Yes.
could you not drive as close to the car ahead of you?
Well, I remember what you did actually. It was better than that.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
What
you
did I
said-
do?
You spoke really softly. Said, Moss, I'm feeling fearful. I know you're a good driver, but for me, you're too close to that car.
Oh.
Can you slow down and get some distance, like 10, 15, 20 feet? And once I heard you were fearful,
Yeah,
what kicked in was, I need to take care of
to
you.
protect me.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. So
Right. Wow, I didn't know I did that.
I did a good thing.
Good.
I was right. Yeah. So those are two examples of
Yeah.
counter criticism. One person has an upset, doesn't get expressed well because the other person takes it personally, feels attacked, and immediately reacts defensively
Mm-hmm.
to protect your ego, whatever you think it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Pretty much it's your ego.
Ego. Yeah.
Pretty
All right.
much.
So why don't we talk a little bit about how to handle a counter criticism?
Oh, all right.
All right.
Okay.
So let's say I come up with an upset. Let's say, okay,
Yeah.
like, okay, here's my upset. You never seem to be satisfied about what clothes I wear when we go out.
So are you saying I
Oh.
should not counter criticize? I should be curious.
Well, let's say we're capable of acting like normal, sane people.
Okay.
Like we've gone to therapy with either you or me, right? And you now have learned
A
a
lot of
skill.
couples therapy.
You've learned a skill.
Okay. Okay.
You take a deep breath,
Okay.
get yourself grounded, and then acknowledge.
So it feels to you like I'm never satisfied when you get dressed up to go out with me with what you've chosen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't know if it's all the time, but I think I do feel criticized, like I'm a slob, or I wear clothes that are inappropriate. And I think it reminds me, tell you the truth, oh my God, I'm embarrassed about this. It reminds me of my mom. My mom, like saying to my brother, why can't you act like your cousin Marvin? Like, why can't you, Moss, dress appropriately? So I think it's an old
So
voice.
it hurts your feelings.
Yeah, I think it does.
So
I think it
okay.
does.
So
Because to tell you
I
the
can understand that.
Yeah. I mean,
That makes sense.
I mean, do you get, like, I really like comfort over what
I
looks good.
Totally get that.
Yeah, right.
Right. I totally get that.
Well,
so
thanks for getting that.
should so what you want me to do instead of what I do is what do you want me to do?
This is an interesting question. Let's say you would really prefer me to wear my black sweater. I'm wearing a nice sweater today, not
Yes,
my
I like
tattered
it.
pink
Although
sweater.
there is like a little
Oh,
bit
thank you.
there.
I got jeans that are pretty tight, not my baggy jeans. I got nice sneakers on, so I look decent.
You do.
So you might start with an acknowledgement.
About what you're wearing at the time.
Oh, an acknowledgement might be, hey, Moss, I really love you. I know you really like those clothes that are comfortable for you. So at least kind of gives me a feeling.
I understand
Yeah.
what your primary goal is to be comfortable.
Yeah, like I enjoy being a
Like
slob.
Okay, honey, I know that what you like is to be comfortable more than anything
Yeah,
else.
right.
I'm aware of that. And I can understand
That's
it,
really true.
right?
Right.
I can understand why you want to be comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to make a request.
I am wondering though if you would be willing,
Oh, okay.
to exchange
Oh.
the shirt you chose, which I know is very comfortable, but I'm noticing that it's kind of frayed at the cuffs.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I
right.
know you have some really nice ones.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to exchange it for one of the
Oh.
newer what I think of anyway as nicer ones.
Oh, okay.
But I think they're still comfortable.
Okay. All right.
Would you consider that?
Yeah, I would consider that. See, because what I like about that is I'm not being jammed into a corner with bad. It's like, I know you like this, Morris. I appreciate that.
So I'm asking you basically to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Rather than
exactly.
telling you you're doing something wrong.
I like that. I like that.
It's more respectful.
I'm wondering if you do me a favor, because she's speaking in a soft voice.
Yeah.
She knows very clearly what she wants, but I don't hear being humiliated or criticized or put down, belittled. Because if I thought that, I probably would react very, very fast. Like with a counter criticism, like, oh, look at you! I have to spend all that money, with all the money that you spend, and look really, really nice because you spend a lot of money on the clothes you buy. It sounds stupid even when I say it.
With that expression on your face.
It even sounds stupid when I say it. But I
think I would just go out to dinner alone.
All right. So rule of thumb, take a deep breath. Acknowledge what the person is saying. What I'm hearing you say is, I can appreciate that. Hopefully you can say, what you're saying makes sense to me because I know it's important to you, that you feel comfortable. And then make your request. I have a request. Would you be willing to consider? As soon as you do that, fast track sleeping, the alligator slows down, goes back into the swamp, and my thoughtful, caring mind can really be thoughtful. Because now I know, as my partner, you're being thoughtful, considerate about me, but you're making a request, and I'm open to it.
It also occurs to me, like, if somebody's coming at you with a criticism, what feels like critical, it can really help to just not respond right away.
Oh, that's a good
just
one.
take a couple of deep breaths to help calm your nervous system down and be aware. I'm not going to respond to you with another criticism.
Okay.
I'm going to think about how I want to respond. And if you don't respond immediately, that's okay.
Right.
You're allowed to take a couple breaths. And you can even say, right this minute, I don't know what to say.
Okay.
In response, let me give it a little thought. And let me think about that. And then I'll respond to you. So you can give yourself some time. That's perfectly legitimate.
I like what you're saying. I notice with some of the couples I work with, when there's a criticism, often the person either pulls back, tightens up, or grimaces, and comes back and says, oh yeah, you, with a counter criticism or something defensive. It's kind of like what happens when you get defensive and take things personally. Your vision narrows. Really narrow. It's like you see a speeding bullet coming at you. So that's why it's useful to take a deep breath. What I might suggest to a client who's on the receiving end of a criticism, I'd say, take a look around the room. What's your favorite painting in my room? Hey, did you notice my rubber tree? It's growing quite fast. To kind of distract them for a moment so they can kind of gather their wits and realize their world is not about what's now being said. I want to give them a broader perspective. So even the act of seeing something visually out of the target, in other words, defocusing from the comment, gives them a chance to, I could give them some coaching now. Well, how about if we try just acknowledging what he's saying? This is not personal. This is something your mate is upset about. So can we take a deep breath, push yourself back a little bit, and just kind of acknowledge what he's saying? I mean, often that helps a lot.
Right. Yeah, because I think if you understand that our defensive nervous system response comes from eons ago when we were living out on the plains or in the jungles, and there were really lions and tigers and other animals that could attack us. We have to have a rapid reaction, but in our